Hey everybody, welcome to Chris Anderson Comics. Man, I'm here finally with my friends Alex, Delaney, and Keenan, Keller. How you guys doing, man?
We're doing good.
Good, man.
Awesome. Yeah, we've been trying to do this for a bit. In fact, it was a comedy of errors trying to figure out what we're gonna do for the for the gene pool episode. And we landed on this fucking awesome Archie and Big Ethel comic that we're going to take a look at real quick. But let me just take a sidestep over to Schizo real quick. So we were gonna do Schizo, but I think that we had said in the thread that it was number 2, so I got number 2. But we meant it was number 3, which Alex had read a million times.
That's what Alex meant.
Yeah, I was put out the wrong number there, so everybody read this extremely bleak comic except for me. I read the funnier of the two.
This is the one he meant.
Yeah,
right.
Great comic,
which is all like Office Space humor, but like I want to kill myself because of my coworkers.
Yeah,
but it's super bleak, but not as
dude.
Like, dark.
This is one of the bleakest things I've ever read in my life.
Yeah. Well, after he said it, I even talked to him about it. I was like, it's going to be kind of hard to talk about that one at length and not like feel horrible. It's really dark. And then like the later parts of the book are just like these long passages, right?
Yeah.
Like think how many, like all this shit, and it's really dark and awful and funny.
Oh man.
Very funny. Triggering to a lot of people too, but
totally
hilarious. But yeah, it's a little much. I'm glad
like if the cover gives you any sense of what is going on in this book, it's rough. But I just wanted to hit on it for a second because like I didn't really know of Ivan Brunetti before. So it was really eye-opening, not only just to read this and be like, what the hell is this? Because around the time that this came out, I think I was like, maybe I picked up some 8 Balls, Milk and Cheese. Maybe that was about the extent of like the indie kind of stuff that I was reading at the time that Schizo would have come out.
Yeah.
But I like looked at his, like the rest of his body of work after this, and he's doing like children's books now on how to.
I think he's an educator as well.
I got one from the library with my son when he was like a year and a half, and we're looking. I'm just dying because it was all about compound words. And it's just like how
that's
great.
A left turn.
How great, yeah.
That is a left turn because this guy, we're coming up in the 90s and like everybody was like depressed, and that was like the whole vibe of like just being alive at that time. Countered with like TGIF on TV or something, like that's not how things really are with all of us. We're like depressed. And this book, made total sense. And then to come up, and then the other thing that I thought was really funny. So he teaches, I guess, at Columbia. Is it Columbia in Chicago, right?
I think so.
I thought he's taught at the Art Institute for a while, but he might teach at Columbia College is there.
Yeah.
That's not Columbia, but yeah.
Columbia, right.
I went to school in Columbia College of Chicago, so.
Yeah, there you go. That's right.
But he teaches there, yeah.
So this was kind of funny too, I saw that he had all these people like coming up to him and writing him letters and asking him like how to be a cartoonist and all this crap. So he like came up with this certificate, and he was like, basically write your name on this and shut up and just you're a cartoonist now. Congratulations.
He's got a book about cartooning and how to how to learn how to become a cartoonist and how to teach being a cartoonist, kind of. I have it. It's in my garage. It's just like a series of like 20 days of projects to do to lead up to drawing a comic, kind of.
Right.
Thing. He's just done so much, but he's the bleakest human being, And for somebody who's like been worried about dying of cancer for the last 30 years, it seems like he's doing okay, right?
Yeah.
I love those comics, and I really love his style and how self-defacing he is. You know, he's like really.
Yeah.
He's a hideous beast. You smell stink lines coming off him all the time.
Yeah.
Skin rashes, you know.
Yeah, I think we were all like really self-deprecating at that time. At least I was, and you know, to a degree, still am. Like that's my humor too. You know, is like shitting on myself basically. Yeah. But he took it to another level. He took it.
Absolutely,
it's an art.
Yeah,
he does it. And then so you guys after that. We were like, well, should we just grab the issue that we meant to look at? And then you guys were like, no, wait a minute, let's look at this one. And I was like, what the hell? Like, you guys, you're gonna hurt my neck turning left so fast.
Yeah.
It makes sense to us in a weird way. That's why
actually, yeah, this makes sense coming from you guys too, and I think I'll get to that in a little bit. But you picked Archie and Big Ethel. An Archie comic has to be said from Spire Comics, right? Yep. Because there's a difference between regular Archie and Archie that comes from Spire Comics, right?
Yeah, it's true. But Hartley did work for just regular Archie for a while too.
Yeah. So I had no idea what I was getting into. I thought it was just going to be this wacky Archie thing, and it's more than that.
Yeah.
So like Archie, I don't know. Archie to me was always the thing that I had to dig through in like my brothers and my cousins' boxes full of comics in order to get to the comics. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like I could never get into it. It was just always so like bleh to me. But people love it. Like you guys love like Archie's.
Well, I mean, I know people that really love Archie. So I can't. If I say I love Archie, I'm kind of claiming something I'm not, because I have friends who really really like it.
Yeah,
I do love Archie. I have a little different relationship with it because I guess I'm older than you too. It was like the most accessible comic outside of Mad and Cracked, because it's at the grocery store. So it was like you never wanted it, but you'd grab it. Like when I was sick, I'd be like, oh my God, if my mom brought me an Archie, you know, I'd be like stoked, even though I'd read it and be like, nothing happened, you know?
Yeah.
But now I like a lot of the artists, you know, like.
Yeah. I've had several Archie phases in my life and stuff like that where I was really focused on the stuff from the 40s and the 50s for a while, just like how different the cartooning looked. So it's kind of always been there at different stages. But yeah, once I started digging through the Spire stuff a couple of years ago, I was like really impressed with these. And this one in particular, when I found it, I was like, what the fuck? This one's different. This one's really special. This one's kind of bleak. There's a lot of pain in it. It's not bashing you over the head with Christianity, really.
Well,
until the end. Until the end. So you get through most of it, and then it's like, whoa.
Yeah.
Hard.
Yeah, this is like a Scud missile of Christian propaganda. It's like you don't know it's coming, and all of a sudden it just pulverizes you with it a little bit.
It's hidden under the guise of making fun of a tall, ugly girl, right?
Which is totally a Christian thing to do, right?
100%, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Which is kind of why it's great.
It's like diminishing her power, but there is also great, like we'll get to it, but yeah, like there's.
Yeah. So Al Hartley's the cartoonist on here. Like there's I always kind of looked at Archie as like this monolith, like because it's so it always seems so on model all the time. But are there's cartoonists that drew Archie that people are attracted to more than others, right?
Oh yeah,
sure.
Yeah. I guess I can see that because there's some amazing cartooning in this.
There's style, and certain artists can bring the style out in the cartooning, and others don't. Okay.
Right.
That's true. Yep.
It's like the good duck artist, right?
Hartley's different beast because he's an auteur, so he brings his touches that he's done his whole career to all this shit and different things, you know.
Right.
Yeah, he was doing stuff for like Atlas Comics before Marvel and that kind of thing, like Debbie and Patsy Walker, that kind of stuff.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. I think he did around 60 Spire comics. So that's
okay.
And it's all him. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I got like this many right now, and I know I got some more, but I got like these are all Al Hartley.
Wow.
This one's like one of my favorites ever.
In His Steps.
Yeah, yeah. In His Steps, and this one's got the best title, best cover. One of my favorite comics ever.
Oh, that looks awesome.
Live it up.
Yeah, live it up, baby.
It's so good. Prodigal son story. Not to get off track, but yeah, we're both big. Like, I love religious comics, and I love, like, I grew up Catholic, and
me too.
And I'm not really into organized religion in any way.
Right.
And so when I see these things, I'm really drawn to them in a weird way,
The absurdity.
And so I like a lot of different kinds of Christian comics, and I have a big, decent collection. But Al Hartley is he's like one of my favorite artists. Like, I really love these. They're a little bit different, like, because he brings himself to these. It's the Christian message, but with a psychedelic swirl,
Yeah. Which is funny because this is like the mid 80s or
right.
Yeah. So he's like still thinks of kids like, it's like 1968 in here.
Check this hip stuff out, cats.
Yeah, that's right.
Fucking awesome. It's so
I know, I love it. The olds trying to be hip with the kids,
Yeah. He didn't know he was like so hip. It's in the future where I'm like, this guy is fucking radical.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. So they were like Spire was like these Christian comic books. They started in like 1972, and then Al Hartley was working at Archie, and so he convinced was it John Goldwater, I guess, right?
I think so.
Yeah, to license the characters, even though Archie was still happening in Archie Comics, they're also going on in Inspire and trying to like spread the good word.
Yeah.
So you got this character, Big Ethel, and she's supposed to be this giant, lanky, bucktooth, just ugly chick, right? Yep. To where, she's like, can I help you carry your books, Archie? And he's like, you kidding? Girls don't carry boys' books. And so she just picks him and the books up all at the same time. Like, that's a great gag.
Things have changed is a great, button too. I like that.
Yeah. And you can tell like this cartooning of the characters, especially like here in the background, is different than like a standard Archie comic too.
Well, also it's like action. She's jumping. The line from her jumping leads into his face that then goes into the end of the button on the page. He's just really good at manipulating your eye and controlling a page as a artist, actually. He's really and he's just so goddamn crispy too. Like draws great eyes and hair and
yeah. So she's like picks him up and puts him in this car. Like this is Archie's car, I guess.
Yeah, it's like jalopy.
Yeah. And she's like trying to basically convince him that they're like made for each other, right?
Yeah. It's like a whole you're a loser like I am, and you're funny looking like I am, that kind of stuff.
Right. And he's like, what the hell are you talking about?
Yeah. She's hitting him with some hard truths.
Yep, exactly.
And then she starts talking about how like she's known that they were like made for each other. They're both a couple losers and they made for each other since they were in kindergarten. This is a great face. It's
so good. It's so expressive. And I like all those series of 3 panels going down as well, telling the story. Like he breaks up the pages. There's other work that he does, which is very narrative and broken into like very easy structures of like, 8-panel grids and 6-panel grids and stuff like that. But these ones, he breaks all those rules and does really cool shit half the time.
Yeah. Like look, he's tossing this around here.
You can tell he's having a blast on these pages.
Yeah, it's just fun to draw. All the kids in the classroom look great,
Yeah.
Yeah, all these guys who were able to just create such great expression by just like taking their brush and going boop, just at the right spot to create expression. It's like it's almost a lost art. It's just so hard to do.
A little bit of the Holy Ghost in there.
Yeah. Something was guiding them.
The Holy Ghost. Good. That crash, fuck, great.
Yeah, they're so busy. Like he's so busy, like going like, what the hell's going on here? That that he misses the fact that they're run into a tree.
Yeah.
Chris, can I break it for 1 second? I know just to think about if we were still doing the Schizo comic right now, and we're this many pages in, how like we just like, well, maybe we don't talk about that panel or this page, like it would be so different. I'm glad we chose this because I'm really happy to talk about this comic.
Yeah, it would be really depressing, and then I would have to go in to when I edited it, either to like blur half of it out, or like go through all these hoops to talk about how we're talking about art,
lots
and
of disclaimers. Expression. Yeah, disclaimers galore, pop-ups, like look away now if you're easily triggered or anything.
Yeah.
This is all like the subtextual bullshit of a Christian comic is offensive, but not so bad that we can't laugh at it, right? So.
Yeah. Like they really grind her down. Like she's always happy and smiling, but the stuff that she's talking about is just as self-deprecating as Schizo to some degree.
Yeah, I know. And it is weirdly real sometimes.
Yeah. She's later like, look at my diary. It's full of more tears than ink.
Yeah, it's a wild thing to say.
Also, look at my diary is pretty hilarious.
Yeah. And then Archie's like, okay.
His eyes.
Well, he's the queen. He loves gossip. He's fucking all into that shit.
Oh, yeah. She's like, oh, I get out of the morning with a good attitude, and then I look in the mirror. Damn, that is just harsh.
I know. Oh my god.
You know how I feel, Arch. I mean, we're birds of a feather.
That's so good right there.
Yeah, we're both funny looking and clumsy. We were made for each other.
The look on Archie's face when she's telling him that is so great.
Yeah.
That. And then the next panel on the next page,
where he just like is breaking his neck.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then when Jughead comes in, he's like, "Fucking save me!" And so he's like, "Oh, I'm out of gas," and she's like, "Oh, I got gas. Let's go for a ride." And he's like, "Oh, fuck."
Yeah, he really is.
Like, what am I gonna do here? I'd kill to have this jalopy, by the way.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, Archie seems to always have it in some way or another. Like it's always the same car, still to this day.
Did it start in the 40s?
Yeah. There's some old collections you can find that have some. The cartooning is so different to what you'd probably know as Archie.
Really?
Yeah.
So his car would have been
he's actually buck-toothed in those, which is funny. That now Big Ethel is the one that is.
So this jalopy would have been like just 20 years old when this thing started, basically. Yeah.
Oh, I love. Yeah. Sorry.
No, so like he's whispering to Jughead here, like, you got to save me, man. You got to take her off my hands. And he's like, ooh, that's you got to that's worth a big burger. He's like, it's a deal. And then after like listening to her, he's like, actually, you know what? This is worth 2 burgers. And then as it goes on, he's like, and a shake, and and fries, and this and that, to the point where he like makes himself sick because they just like can't stand her so much.
Yeah, and she's like, I'm the one who made him sick.
Yeah.
I love that page too.
Yeah.
The panels and then the open panel at the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
He's really a master of like foreground, middle ground, background sometimes too in panels. He likes to like really bring the person in the foreground out, like how thick the lines are around her, and like it just really pops. Right? Yeah, that big bold line that he uses around the character is like in superhero comics and stuff. It's a pet peeve. I hate it. Yeah, so much. But in cartooning like this, it's a great trick to pull the character out. Yeah. What I'm trying to figure. So this is 1982. All right. So he's the master of the 9-panel grid even before Frank Miller popularized it, right? Or Alan Moore. So yeah. So they got to cart Jughead out into the car. He's like so messed up. the subtext of like him being hammered all the time. It's true even in a Christian comic. Like, oh man, they gotta fucking take him, carry him to the car again.
Oh man, he had too many burgers again.
Yep. Burgers.
So he dies of colon cancer. Is what he dies of, right? You know, because too many burgers.
And so like so he's like, you know, Jug will feel like a new man tomorrow, and she's like, but I'll be the same old me. And so she gets this idea and goes to a beauty demo and gets Veronica to like put makeup on her, and she's like, I'm working in cosmetics, not magic.
And also, like, totally rude. Look at the bitch face on Veronica too. Yeah, like, she's so evil right there. It's really good. And how devastated Ethel is. Like, that's such a great panel, and it's so mean.
Yeah,
it's true how people treat each other too. You know, like especially teenagers.
Yeah, and she's like, you know, one of the heroes of the book. So
and he paints her as just like, oh man, what a mean bitch, you know. But then she tried, you know.
There's so much storytelling in these 2 pages. It's fucking amazing.
Yeah,
like it's so good. Everything. The cartooning is on fire here.
Yeah, it really is. Like every expression, everything. So she realizes that she hurt her feelings, and so she's like gonna do everything she can, pull at all the stops. And so she starts working, you know, and they go through every step of like putting makeup on, I guess.
Yeah.
You know. And you know, she's starting to you know, if you they never like pull the camera back to see what it's really gonna look like.
They cut off her teeth, so it's so funny and wrong and weird.
They just tuck them under her lips.
They also are like taking all of her personality away from her, right?
Yeah. And then, you know, they put her in the shadow in like the profile here, so you can't see her face, and then she has to sneeze, and she's just like this. It looks like she has cake all over her.
She's like
50 pounds of makeup.
You know?
Yeah, the redhead in RoboCop, right? After the toxic paste goes on him, right? You know.
Yeah.
It's so good.
This page, man.
And this is like him at his best when he's doing his psychedelic, you know, his 80s psychedelic swirls and stuff. Yeah.
It reminds me of like there was like, I think, a time in like Wonder Woman where they made her just like an everyday woman, you know, like in the 70s, and it was really like bell bottoms, and it's like the cartoon.
Yeah, and about like how well you can draw hair and pretty. Yeah, some of those are great looking. Some of those covers are awesome.
Yeah,
so, right. It's very similar.
It reminds me of this, especially with this like 70s swirl, you know, early 70s swirl that's going on.
There's 10 Ethels there on top. That's awesome.
Yeah, like the transformation, he really took his time to get there.
Yeah.
He does feel like that a lot in some of the later comics that are really good.
Yeah. So yeah, she goes into her head about thinking about finding happiness in popularity and looks, and you know, she's in her head, she's so beautiful that, you know, everybody wants a piece of her. She's on the news. She's on the Phil Donahue special.
Yeah. She's a media queen now.
Yeah. She's got a fur.
She's got records. She's on the TVs.
Oh yeah.
The second page, I love that big splash with the second page. The bottom panel is so great. And even the top one in the mirror. Yeah.
The mirror where she because she's like, I'm so beautiful on the outside, but still all mixed up on the inside. Yeah, so like the reflection not having any definition on it is brilliant.
Yeah.
I think she needs to do cocaine.
Yeah.
That's going to help.
She has to be.
She'll just not even think about the inside and enjoy the outside. Yeah, that bottom panel, I'm just like love it so much. The clicks and clack and the fucking her hair and the proportion.
Those eyes.
Yeah, and how he draws a little bit differently to do like a faux, like realistic, you know. Too, I love all that.
Yeah,
one of my favorite page in the whole thing.
That's a great page.
So far they haven't bombarded us with propaganda, but you feel it. You feel the train a coming. There's rumblings.
Yes.
Like, my name is in lights, but my spirit is still in darkness.
Been there.
Everybody recognizes me, but I don't know myself. Even in her fantasy, she can't be happy.
Yeah,
like,
thing.
This is where you edit in like the P. Diddy page, right?
Yeah.
The P. Diddy party. And it's like, where have you strayed, girl?
This is great. Yeah. So like even in her, she's like empty. She's so empty. She's like, I'm in a make-believe world, and it seems I'm loaded, but I'm really empty.
Yeah.
I'm a star, but I've got to come down to earth. Huh?
Who put that Bible there?
What?
Where'd that come from?
I wonder, will this show me the truth about life? Damn.
Let me just add that.
Let's cut to the chase.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, this is great. So here we go.
Then like she transforms back into herself.
Yeah. And look at the transformation is almost even better here. Like
yeah,
it's crazy.
And her clutching the Bible. Oh, that's really good. That's really good. I like that one. That's nice.
Repent, denounce your earthly possessions.
She's like, wait, she's fantasizing this. It's wrong. It's really easy. Like, oh, I want to be myself. You have no choice.
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about?
Oh, so then they nail you here with this letter section.
This letters page is pretty wild too. There's some.
If you read them, there's some funny ones in there. Yeah, it's good.
When President Reagan was shot, I prayed for him.
Yeah.
When the Columbia Space Shuttle went up, I prayed for the astronauts. Yeah.
I pray for America every day because our great country is the only one that can keep freedom and hope alive in this world.
This is the beginning of like thoughts and prayers.
82.
Thoughts and prayers. They're like sending it into a comic like in a year later, Yeah. When my dog like shat on the rug and then dragged his ass all over.
Yeah. Thoughts and prayers, man.
It's great though.
Yeah. And there's this one at the end one where they punctuate it with, I used to read about you and laugh. Now I realize there's a lot more to you than just slapstick. Thanks for helping me to think about the important things in life too. I wonder if he wrote all these himself. He must have.
I swear when I was reading this after Alex gave me this comic, I thought the same. Like these are just all like, because it's too much. Yeah, he's gonna get some fan mail, of course, and it's gonna be great. Jesus, hallelujah. Name, all things. It's gonna be all that bullshit, but these are just a little too tight, right? Like if they're like get to the point a little too quick, Yeah, I think it's all horse shit, as is most propaganda. So, but God, I love it. I love the spread, and it's not at the end; it's in the middle of the comic, basically, or not at the end, but it splits the two stories, right?
Yeah. And I love how that other story doesn't really end. It just kind of like, that's it.
Yeah.
He's back to ugly, right? That's all it ends on.
Yeah.
And I love that image in the corner of her reading the letters.
Oh, this one, yeah. He's really good at the back and forth head,
Yeah.
That's a tough one to get.
I keep trying. No, it's okay.
Special section, if in case you missed it. Did it.
I mean, yeah, I love that actually.
I do too. I kind of want to steal that.
Because no kid read that. No kid even
remember
except for like, I do remember as a kid when I'd have comics and I would only have like at a certain point in my life when I was like 8 or 9, I only had like 12 comics or 13. Sure. I wasn't like going out and searching. So those ones I would end up reading everything,
Right.
Not even. I don't think I would have read that.
Well, had you had a big Ethel, your whole life may have been different, man. You may have found the Lord.
Again, there's lots of people that want to sign up for a big Ethel.
Yeah.
I wonder, this was the only issue, though, right? Or were there many issues of Big Ethel?
This is the only one that I know of.
Does she show up again, though? Because I've never seen her, but she's got to have. Like, that'd be like my, I'm going to bring her back when I do my Archie.
Yeah.
Well, see, that's the thing. I used to read about you and laugh, and now I realize there's a lot more to you than just slapstick. So
that's why it's
really kind of been like a goofy character in the Archie universe.
Yeah, we had like Tom Neely here. He'd be like, actually, and he'd tell us.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't really know. That's why I was saying I can't claim to be an Archie, like, because I don't really know anything. I just like some of the comics look great. Several of the covers, like several of the artists are great, but I don't know any details.
Yeah, we need the cartooning historian.
Yeah.
Text him real quick.
Call in. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's probably already asleep. It's like 7.
Yeah, it's true. So there's one in here that it says, have you ever tried sports? I'll bet you'd be good at pole vaulting or basketball. Wilma asked from Edina, Minnesota.
Totally real. That's totally real.
Totally real. I mean, Edina is a real place. I do know that for a fact.
Yeah, I would hope he'd pick like real cities.
Yeah. That's where all the rich assholes live in Minnesota. So very timely. Get off my court, Big Ethel. We have practice. Well, I'm trying out for the team. I was made for it. But it's a boys' sport team. This is a boys' team.
No, that was better.
Yeah.
Boys' sport team.
Boys' sport team. This is a boys' sport team.
That's my new band.
Yeah. And the coach is like, she's right, guys. Give her a chance.
Yeah.
Girls. And then she just like schools them.
We'll send her back to cooking class. You got to hit that one in a hurry. That's like a really good.
Oh, yeah.
Schools them completely. Yeah. And that whole page is great. That is
their faces on here are spot on. Like,
good. What cocks, right?
Yeah,
totally. Absolute assholes. That's the good thing. He's like really good at pointing out people's foibles, because that's what Christians are really good at. Like, oh, you're horrible, but he is really good at like getting into the nitty gritty of like, yeah, people suck. Actually, that's why that's why I like his comics so much, because it's filled with a bunch of assholes.
Yeah.
I think that's the one thing I took away from like going through CCD and all that crap is judging other people really well, telling them their shit. Doing the wrong thing. Yeah, so she's just like dunking on him. And then she's like, but it's
almost like a little bit of Jack Davis in the way she's putting it down there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Well, it's I think it's her lankiness, it's the way that she flops around feels very Jack Davis. And then they're like, now that you're a star player, you'll have to come out of your shell. She said, but it's so hard. I'm still sort of self-conscious about my face.
Like, what the fuck? That's the end of the comic.
That's it.
So
end of story.
Horrible. Like, she's proven that she's like super dynamic, multi-dimensional. Like already at this point in the comic, like Big Ethel's the coolest person in the universe of Archie, and they're still like trying to make her like have no spine, right?
Yeah.
And then she settles for this little fucking twerp.
Yeah, like what is this? Who's like, he's like 6.
Yeah,
and she's like 17.
That's allegations. That's of that at all.
Allegedly, right.
He might be, like his parents smoked both, probably.
Throughout the whole drank.
What year is this?
Yeah. So Big Ethel is the star of the team, and Dilton is the business manager. Well, I don't think they're talking about basketball now. Ooh, it's about to get. It makes you think, oh shit, what are we in for? This is about to get like
saucy. Yeah.
Saucy here, spicy as shit. And then, oh no, when God made us in His image, He was concerned about the inside, not the outside. See Genesis 1:26.
Yeah.
Whoa.
A lot of notes.
See John run.
Yeah. He just starts talking about how he's been hurt too. Look, they are relating. That's so good.
Yeah. Look at these wild animals at the zoo. Oh my gosh. They have such similar thoughts as us. Like, it's really awful. Like, the point of view too. God, are these freaks going to kiss? Let's watch.
Yeah. Every single book on this facing page is drawn. I just want to bring.
Yes.
Through every fucking book.
Alex. Yes.
Yeah, that is a pain in the ass.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
And he probably started off with like one in the middle, right? He probably draws like a madman. I feel like he'd have like he's secretly just insane.
Like this one on top, that one on top, and then he just
he starts just filling it in. You're like, what are you doing? He's like the autistic artist that can like fly over New York City in a helicopter and then draw the whole city.
He's really good at these like montage pages.
Yeah, they're great. His splashes are like his calling card kind of through his whole career. So
and everything flows so well on them too.
Always.
It's ridiculous at how well he directs your eye constantly.
Yeah, you just want to stick a bookmark in these and for later, you know.
He's trying to jab 2 crucifixes right into your eyes at all times, swirling it. It's great.
So he's like a nerd, and he was tried to fill his life with books, but he couldn't find truth, and he was still hurting. But I couldn't find truth. See 2 Timothy 3:7.
I think he's making stuff up at this point.
Yeah, I think so too. There's a lot of numbers in there that don't make sense.
Ameriquai 13:22.
The Book of Tim.
Yeah.
No, I've actually read all that crap.
So yeah, like they're just like, you know, being friends.
Yeah, right. They're just talking. You know,
like get married already so you can kiss.
You can hate each other for the rest of your lives.
You guys got to be 16 by now. Yeah.
This is the most boring 2 pages, but they're really funny if you read them. You know, they're hilarious, actually. Like, I thought I was too short. I thought I was too tall. Like, what? Lord Almighty.
Yeah. But God, man, her face is so great.
Yeah.
But now I know it's my religious fucking horrible point of view that's going to make people hate me, not my height or my shortness, you know.
Yeah.
It's gonna youth group me tonight.
Youth group
when we go tonight, God's way, he makes us all equal. Amen, Dilton. Amen.
And then the dog's like, ruff, ruff. Like, where the fuck did the dog come from, man?
These heathens back here.
I was literally dying, and yeah, look, like I said before, like Archie's a queen. He loves to gossip. Look at these fucks. Like they're all like hunched over. They're like
what they do?
God, man, they're still waiting. Like, are they gonna kiss? That's why you got on the wall, you know. But tonight,
exactly,
scary thing, you know.
And then you get this special message from Al Hartley here.
I do love like that page, the back cover. I love this. The best for you. Awesome.
You and I share a special relationship through Spire Comics. We enjoy all the things that make comics exciting, plus the extras that fill the Spire series. Prayer, faith, and real desire to seek God's best in our lives. We take a slice of life in each issue and put it in alongside God's word, and we see how perfectly the Bible fits in our lives. God created you and gave you freedom of choice. Oh, this is like the...
You're free to accept God's love or reject it.
Yeah.
Like, that's punk.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I can say, fuck you, God.
That's right.
You sack of shit. But thank you, God, for Al Hartley.
Yeah, and that's okay. It's cool to say fuck it because God sent Jesus to forgive you and take away your guilt.
Totally. So, that's why what do I need to do anything? I'll wait till right before I die and say, I'm sorry, and you go to heaven. That's what Catholics do. Like, it's the dumbest fucking religion ever. You can just burn people, treat everybody like shit, and then I'm sorry, I'm going off track, Chris. Sorry, I don't want to hear you.
No. You're exactly right on track. I feel the same. It's the same angst.
Yeah, I love how it's so right on the surface with this whole comic. You know, it's not so much at the beginning, like you're saying. At the end, they're really hammering it home. You know?
Oh yeah, that's what I said. They suck you in, and then bam.
Okay, this is also what I want to talk about because this makes me want to buy comics more than any ad.
Yeah.
Like these.
Oh yeah, that
covers of these, like this is what's really good. The graphic design, the way he draws things, and then the graphic design of this ad, just is like I'll buy all these, and I think I have like the majority of them.
Yeah, I can't find that Hansy one.
Hans, the girl who loved the swastika.
Oh, I have that, but I couldn't find. But I have that out there. I don't have the "Hello, I'm Johnny Cash" because I've
never seen that one.
And I've seen it like once, and it was like, $100.
I know I've got one of those Barney Bears, but
and Through the Gates of Splendor. I've never seen that one in the bottom.
I've got that one.
You do have that one? Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have the cross and the switchblade?
I have an extra. I'll give it to you, Chris. Okay?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that's a top 5.
That's a good one, but that's going more towards his straightforward storytelling that doesn't have the splashes as much. But the story is super like after school special Christian propaganda, and still his characters and hair and his faces are all just classic, on point, great, but it's not as beautiful as this Archie comic,
There's a Pat Boone movie for that Cross and the Switchblade too.
Is there?
Yeah. There's the movie of it.
Oh man, that's awesome. Which came first?
I think the comic. Well, first it was a book, and then they turned it into a comic.
Got it. Born Again.
This one's really good because it's about a douchebag who worked for Nixon, who then got born again, and it was like, Jesus, I love everybody, and got off of charges, even though everybody else got charged for Watergate. He got off because he pretended to go Christian at the perfect point and used that shit. That's what this whole comic's about.
That's awesome.
Yeah, there's we could do a whole thing just about Al Hartley comics and the truth behind them and the what's real, but it's really this whole pride.
This is kind of
sorry.
My God! I got 2 copies of this. This one, somebody blacked out. This one, somebody blacked out the price, which is $69. Yeah. So they blacked it out, and if you look really close, you can see they wrote 79 cents there in pencil.
Oh.
So it's was 69 the evil
What does the Christian bookstore owner know about 69? How do you know about that to black it out? Somebody's going to jerk off to that 69 number.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you actually thinking?
I know.
That's insane.
These are probably his 2 best, though, just for everybody. In his steps, live it up.
But yeah, I saw that and I was like, oh, that's weird. I never noticed it was blacked out. And then I looked and saw the 79 cents there in pencil. And it's just
Alex, that's you need to put that on the wall.
Actually. Yeah, I should get that slabbed.
Yeah, get that one slabbed.
Rated and slabbed. Fucking.
I bet it's a 6.9.
Oh God, can you pay to get a number? I'm pretty sure you can. Actually, I'm pretty sure you can.
They just send it back to me.
Yeah, it's all fake anyway.
So bullshit industry. Yeah, so let's just make one, Alex. It says 69, 6.9. Oh, good.
I really want the Satanic Temple or whatever to get the license for Archie next and do a whole run of books.
That'd be fun. It's like a game. If the
I wish Al Hartley did a Satanic Panic comic actually really bad or I wish I could mimic him and do it, but I could never do it. But because there would be something great in that, and he never did anything like that,
Yeah. Well, the thing is basically you could just change everything. It's the same tenants or whatever, it's you just juxtapose them. Wouldn't have to change anything.
It's true. He's formulaic in his storytelling throughout all these comics, but it's glorious. It's the kind that you just eat the fuck up. You're oh my God, give it to me.
His comics are so readable. Readable.
They flow and beautiful.
I mean, I can just really see where you guys get Vengeance is for the Living out of that. Then it makes total sense that we're talking
right there, man. All over this,
So Vengeance for the Living, the 4th and final issue is coming out in December, right?
Yes.
In a shop near you at some time. It can be a week on or off, but
December,
wiggle room. But
December 15th.
Okay, awesome. That was a really freaking cool book to look at. I'm so glad that you guys picked that one. Schizo would have been cool too, but I don't know. That one's pretty great.
Yeah, there's a lot to talk about with that book.
Yeah,
and Alex and I kind of really bonded over his work when we first met too, just because we both really liked it. And Alex would send me issues of these that I couldn't find anywhere because he's up in Portland where comics just fall from the sky.
Right.
You know, comics are almost currency here.
So. Yeah, everywhere. So
just switch over to that.
Totally. All right. Well, I'll put all the all your stuff in the show notes, and people will be able to find you. But yeah, go and if you don't snag Vengeance is for the Living from your shop, you can get it from Floating World. And what else? What am I missing here?
No, I mean, no, that's all. You're saying everything. I just wanted to put one button about how in the future I'd like to do a roundtable about WizKids with artists that I want to talk about. So
yeah, let's do it.
As a button, as a teaser, right? At some point, but we need to do a roundtable about the WizKids series. So.
Oh wow!
Right, Alex?
Yeah.
Me, Tom, James. You know, we could all talk about. Can we get 4 people on? 5 people on here?
I think we can get like 700 people on.
Let's do it.
All right. All right. It's a deal.
All right.
I'm into it. All right, guys. Well, we're gonna go to the past now and record the first episode that everybody's gonna see and talk about these things. So until next time, take care, guys.
All right.
Join my Patreon to see my work before anyone else. Plus, score physical sketchbooks, mini comics, and commissions delivered right to your door. And reading my new books, Something Seems Off and Three-Headed Pigman, as they are made. Go to my website to order original art, commissions, and my books, Lost Angels, Spectral: A Showcase of Fear, Chaotic Neutral, and more. Gray Matter Drip, The Art of Chris Anderson, is available now from Cosmic Lion Productions. Here are the upcoming conventions I'll be at the time of this recording. And don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe. It helps spread the word. Thanks.